So to start in terms of the panel, we're going to be talking about the qualityfarmsupply.com project that DCKAP had worked on. We're going to hear from Matt Serwin from Klaviyo, who is the Senior Agency Partner Manager and the provider of Quality Farm Supply's email marketing solution. And then also Magesh Ravi, Developer Manager at DCKAP, who worked closely on the project with Quality Farm Supply. So we're going to go through and just have a discussion with them on some of the things going on in the climate, as well as experience during the project itself. So let me go ahead and have you guys come on board. Thank you so much. First of all, I'm going to go and just introduce you, Matt, if you wanted to come on board. So just as an initial question to you, what has Klaviyo observed through the quarantine, and how has it changed e-commerce? What would you say from your perspective?
Yeah, I think one of the big things, once we went into quarantine, we started a portion of our site devoted to COVID-19 insights. So that was taking data not only from like our internal learnings, but also expanding questions out to our network on a daily basis and tracking it along the course of, as this has been going on. And obviously something that we found was that there was a dramatic shift in purchasing behavior. In the early days, it was just like a total scale back on what people were purchasing. But over time, what we started to figure out is that different verticals and categories that we hadn't seen as much activity in previously started to really pop. And what we kind of deemed those were new essentials. So you're starting to talk about different home goods, houseware items, consumer packaged goods that couldn't be, procured from like a local destination, puzzles, games, home workout equipment, things of that nature. So you saw that really big dramatic shift after people kind of settled in and just wanted either a sense of normalcy or adapting to a new normal at home. But the bigger piece of that was, the overall shift into e-commerce. We had a lot of conversations with brands that had not really looked at e-commerce at all previously, or maybe they were doing and splitting it like 50% of their time. So as the reality of not being able to reopen and go into, trade shows and different events, like people really had to adapt the business quickly. And so that's where our team, along with, working with our e-commerce partners like Shopify, were able to, stand those projects up very quickly and help brands that really might not have had a lot of experience in this space be able to communicate and effectively market their goods. So that was a really rapid learning in a short amount of time, but yeah, it's been exciting to see kind of how people have embraced it and gone forward.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously it's a bit of a adapt as we go, just considering the situation. So yeah, I appreciate the insights on that for sure. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, since the initial talk that we were going over is in regards to the qualityfarmsupply.com project, Magesh, I'll just go over to you really quickly. Just in general, obviously replatforming is always a challenge for any company to go through. So I would just really love if you could share some of the challenges that you saw or came across in terms of replatforming with Shopify and Chloris in regards to Quality Farm Supply.
Yeah, sure, Kathy. So in terms of replatforming here with Shopify, the biggest challenge we have was with the P21 integration and PIM integration and some of the custom search functionalities what we do. So in terms of P21 integration and PIM, we have done here with the help of Shopify with some custom apps. We can't directly integrate into Shopify like other platforms because Shopify is a SaaS model. We have developed some custom apps. Those custom apps handshakes with the Chloris platform as well as Shopify. Through the APIs, we send all the data into Shopify platform. In terms of PIM integration, we have imported all the products from their reactive PIM to Shopify. So it is also done with the help of a Shopify app, which is a pre-built we have, and within the Shopify API, it supports only a minimal number of requests at a time, but we have handled in a different way with the help of app to import all the products, as we have around 15,000 SKUs in quality farm supply, we need to fetch all the inventory and pricings to Shopify with the API, help of API. This is one of the challenging thing. And other thing is here for quality farm supply, we have integrated some custom search with the make, model search and filters. And these are some of the challenging as the filters details we fetch on each request, we interact with PIM and then rebuild the search. These are some of the challenging things which we've done in quality farm supply.
Yeah, I can imagine, with having that amount of inventory, in itself being a very large challenge to overcome. But yeah, those are some really great insights. Everybody who's thinking of doing a replatforming project, I'm sure has plenty of questions along the way. Matt, I'll go back to you then with another question, sort of around the same area in terms of B2B. So in your eyes, do you feel that it's possible to treat a B2B relationship the same as a B2C relationship, especially when thinking about marketing automation?
Yeah, I think this has been another really big standout kind of talking point from what we've seen recently. I know particularly in the case of like Quality Farm Supply, they had talked about their experience with Amazon, and being on a marketplace really limits your ability to market effectively, whether you're B2C or B2B. And what they figured out there really touched on Klaviyo's position around a concept we call owned marketing. And that's really having access to your first party customer data through acquisition and post-purchase and other ways that you've gathered consented information from them. When you're selling on a marketplace like Amazon, you don't have access to that valuable data, which really shows you the value that it has because they're not giving you access to it to go and remarket and build those relationships. So thinking at it from that level and then kind of diving deeper, I do believe that it's absolutely possible to have the same type of relationship you have in the B2C space along with the B2B space. I know that's something that we've continued to work on while we were built primarily for e-commerce from the ground up. We are continuing to add different features as we go forward for B2B. And what we've found throughout the entire COVID experience, as more B2B merchants have gone online and had to go fully devoted towards e-commerce, is that if you dig a little bit deeper, you do find that the B2B relationships in many cases are very similar in terms of how you treat the strategy for B2C. You're still talking about building relationships and trust in a specific vertical. So in some cases, there's actually more value to the B2B side because you know what your audience cares about. They're obviously in an industry very similar or aligned with what you're talking to them about. So you have relevant reasons to reach out and build that relationship. So that's where a platform like Klaviyo is really able to help take that to the next step in terms of automating outreach and campaigns to be able to build up these relationships at a time where trade shows are off the table. We can do Zoom meetings, but it's sometimes not the same as how you've maybe functioned for years. So embracing the move to going online and building those relationships out from there and nurturing them along the way is potentially going to offer even more value than it had in the traditional space. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go further with the B2B side, but definitely encourage people to dig in and understand what their brand means and what their target market looks like, because what you're going to probably find is that it's going to function very much the same way.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, certainly there's a lot of similarities as well as differences. So it's good to have some marketing insight from your end there, certainly. We do have a Blant on board here, and just to go back really quickly to Blant, he is the co-owner of Quality Farm Supply, which is the project that we've been touching base upon here. So I'll bring Blant Hurt on just to kind of ask you a quick question, Blant, before we then have you go into your own discussion presentation on it. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about the digital transformation and changes that you're seeing in the farming industry in particular? Oh, okay. I guess Blant wasn't quite ready there. I apologize. Okay, so let me jump over to you then, Magesh, really quickly. In regards to the project, would you mind sharing some of your experience specifically about P21 and Shopify integration using Chorus and the process of that?
Yeah, sure, Kathy. So in terms of P21 integration with the help of Chorus into Shopify, as a Chorus act as a middleware where we can create our own flows based on the needs, and then using those flows we can map all the fields which are required, which needs to be synced from Shopify to P21. So these and all we can manage in the Chorus platform itself as a handy. There is no need of any developer help in future, but it can be handled in Chorus. And then in terms of integration, we have done with the help of a custom app. And what are all the integration done is inventory sync, pricing, and then order processing and order sync. These are some of the integrations which we have implemented here. The inventory sync, we take the inventory from different warehouses and even the different company IDs we have mapped in P21. So we need to fetch everything and combine and ship or update all the values in the Shopify. These are some of the things which is best on and which is done with the help of Chorus here.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for the insights. Obviously, it's good to get some behind the scenes information in regards to that sometimes too. So thank you very much. And then Matt, I'm going to go just back over to you really quickly in terms of new customer acquisition in particular, since that obviously is very important, especially considering the times. So would you have any kind of tips or strategy that you can share in terms of making the most of new customer acquisition?
For sure. I think it's been a curse and a blessing for a lot of brands right now where they've been able to acquire prospects very quickly through, just natural pivots and what we've seen going online. So if you're in that situation or looking to build from there, both points really remain relevant is that you want to start with a really strong welcome series built out in Klaviyo. So that's going to set up a cadence of emails, probably to go out what we recommend about 7 days time frame, and then usually around 3 to 4 emails in that cadence. So initially welcoming them. And back to my previous point, we're talking about in a lot of these situations where you have a very specific type of product or vertical that you're in. So putting some really strong content that might not even be necessarily sales focused within that welcome series, talking about, the history of your company, introducing your CEO or founder, giving anything that's really relevant in those early stages is going to help make a positive impression through that welcome series, and then ultimately lead, to visiting the site and then, making purchases. From there, I think what you'd want to make sure is set up is, other automations that we offer, specifically looking at like post-purchase, and, after that first purchase is really key. Being able to suggest cross-sell items with dynamic product blocks in the email template that feeds in from Shopify, and being able to make those relevant connections so that you're delivering the right message at the right time for your audience. And then kind of to go back to, if you are looking at acquisition areas that you're looking to enhance, I think looking at the Quality Farm Supply site was really helpful for me to see if there's certain products that do particularly well. You might want to use a specific pop-up form for capturing information on that product or targeting with different segments once you've acquired. Maybe you have VIP buyers that exist down the road and you want to start utilizing that differently. But essentially you can take the sign up form and pop-up forms and make them non-intrusive by using some of the technology that we have, so that you're actually delivering something of meaning to your audience while also capturing some new information so that you can continue to build that relationship.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously, not just acquiring the customer, but being able to grow that relationship too is a really important part of it for sure.
Yep. Definitely a first step in a long journey.
Yeah. Well, so I guess just to kind of go back to you then, Magesh, kind of in regards to the specific project again, maybe you can tell us a little bit about why one would even need to have an integration platform. Why can't you directly integrate something, and why is a solution like Chorus needed? If you can talk about that a little.
Yeah, sure, Kathy. Why, when it comes to topic of why we need a middleware like a Chorus, is in the help of Chorus, we have a platform where you can manage everything, like the flows and mapping the fields, what are all the fields needed. We can map in future, it can be changed without the help of developer. When you go to custom and directly integrating into the platform instead of having a middleware, what happens is you need a developer support, and even it alters everything what is already developed. If you change the API, you need to go and touch the current code and correct working code, and if it affects, then you need to retest and fix all the things. When you have a middleware like Chorus, no, you don't need to touch the core code which is there, and you can just change the APIs and you can just change the fields in the interface itself. So it avoids, it reduces the time and cost even when the implementation of new APIs. And a platform like Chorus, which helps to add your own APIs whenever needed. Whenever, if in future, if you are shifting the system also, it can be easily done with the minimal cost and minimum time in the migration. So you don't need to do from the first. So these type of things like Chorus helps a lot.
Yeah, definitely. That's good insight. Thank you for sharing that. And then I'm just going to go back to you again, Matt, real quick. I'm just curious, in the last couple of years, have you experienced any kind of, specific shift in, not even in terms of the B2B and B2C in general, but in terms of how clients are interacting in terms of their websites and growing, their strategies in regards to that?
Yeah, I think it's been really, even in a small window of time, been really interesting to see how people have continued to adapt. One of the reasons I joined Klaviyo is because it's a product first company based on engineering. So to see what we've continued to do in terms of not only making the platform powerful, but also making it really simple to use. So putting different prompts and things in there to make, people have a first time to revenue in under their first 60 minutes of using Klaviyo is an internal goal that we have. So where that's actually gone to now is that people, brands or agency partners that are running client accounts, they're getting to the easier revenue generating items first. And now that's allowing them to explore, the full host of tools that we do have access to. So going deeper with audience segmentation, going deeper with automated flows and different branch logic and things that can happen there. All relatively simple things to input, but you need the core foundation set up, you need the audience insights to have, and then you kind of keep building upon from there. And what that's leading to, and now you see what we're releasing within the product, is a lot more focus on customer analytics tools. So being able to take this data once you have it and use it with your internal teams, really understanding where business is coming from, plan for the future, and being able to visualize that all very simply. So that's really where we've seen a lot of our customer use cases change over time, is that it's going exactly where we want it to. They're getting stronger and more in depth with their strategy, which is obviously leading to better business results. So I think everybody in that situation is obviously happy, but I think more so from us that we're just happy that people are using the full functionality of the tool at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I can see how that would be a plus for sure. Awesome. What I would like to do then is just show the case study in regards to the Quality Farm supply project that we were doing, just obviously so there's a little bit of context here as well in what we've discussed. So I'll go ahead and share my screen for that part, and if you guys would just like to go offline here for just a moment.
DCKAP, as established Shopify experts, provide custom Shopify services beyond the standard integrations which are tailor-made for specific requirements. On that note, we were delighted to help Quality Farm Supply with various e-commerce services to transform their digital business. Quality Farm Supply has its headquarters in Jonesboro, Arkansas, United States. It is one of the largest providers of parts for production agriculture, farm supplies, or tractor parts. They offer brands ranging from AG Smart, Baldwin Filters, Banjo to T-Jet, Tisco, and many more. Our certified Shopify developers and designers formulated a new optimized website with an enhanced user experience to fulfill Quality Farm Supply's expectations. The design stage also involved an intricate process to provide a fully customizable Shopify site to meet the ever-evolving necessities of the client and the end users. The team had implemented 2 types of searches. One, the customers can search by entering product name, keyword, etc. Autocomplete will be available to select from suggestions or select the product that will be redirected to the product detail page. The second one, search based on make, type, model. The search displays products related to the search parameters. Also, the customers can further drill down the results using filters. The difficulty in P21 integration with Shopify was solved using Chloris along with a Shopify custom app. Information related to the product, inventory, and price for each product and order information with automated PO numbers were synced to P21 from Shopify. Our Shopify experts had integrated the website with Triactive PIM for managing the categories of all available products and its information. It got more interesting when the client could sync the products and category information in a single click using the Shopify custom app. The ERP e-commerce functionality has been steadily growing in importance as online businesses flourish. Some of the unique positives that e-commerce businesses should look for while integrating their online platform with ERP programs are: better online experiences, reduced errors, streamlined operations, fast synchronization, better inventory management, no duplicate entries, unlike the static website design they had earlier. The homepage, CMS pages like Contact Us, About Us, etc., product listing pages, product detailed pages, were designed to be intuitive and user-friendly to retain the visitor in the site for a longer time. Product listing page has some customized attribute filters which allow users to search for products and have a better user experience. We used Shopify custom private apps and APIs to develop the following: custom mega menu, category listing page, product listing page sidebar, Our Shopify team developed a custom private app called PIM Integration, which serves as a bridge between Triactive PIM and Shopify. The product and category menus were managed and the information was synced in a private app with options to enable or disable. From a technical perspective, we created valid codes that comply with current web standards to ensure improved functionality and wider accessibility for the customers. Appropriately placed interactive contact forms and enhanced shopping carts created a better experience for the website visitors. Quality Farm Supply is now equipped with a completely transitioned Shopify Advanced Store and high-level integrations to ensure a better customer experience. In spite of the challenges faced, our technical team managed to hurdle through it with their expertise. Our Shopify experts have opened up a gateway for efficient business transactions for Quality Farm Supply's clientele. We managed to fix issues, increase the conversion rates, customer satisfaction, and the overall website performance as well. Testimonials come across in an unbiased voice and establish trust. It serves as a social proof for the quality of work delivered. DCKAP is delighted to have worked with amazing businesses like Quality Farm Supply. Here is what Blant, co-owner, QualityFarmSupply.com said.
Thank you so much again, everyone.